My name's Liz Hepple and I've been at the Queensland Academy of Sport since 1992, just after the birth of my first child, and I've been here since then, and I'm currently working as an advisor in athlete wellbeing and engagement. I started off as a scholarship coach, so similar to the program that's happening now with the sort of like developing coaches at the QAS, and in the sport of cycling. So I just retired from my sporting career. I then moved on to a position as a cycling coach with the QAS. In 2007 I started work in athlete career and education. That role has changed over the years. It's just with changes in society, and it's become now athlete wellbeing and engagement, so like with a view to trying to understanding and knowing the importance that wellbeing has on athletes and their performance, and the importance of looking after them as a person and also as an athlete. Probably some of my favourite memories though are from, I used to take junior women's and junior men's teams over to Europe and also the US, and take them to a series of bike racing competitions and also world championships. And I think seeing how they grew and how they, just all the challenges they took on when they're going from sort of like, you know, their family environment in Australia and adapting to what their sort of like the challenges and the pressures are when they're in an international racing environment, and just seeing them just grow and just develop as people. I really loved that as well, and it was also exciting to be part of their athlete journey.
Liz Hepple, who weeks earlier had competed in the gruelling Hawaiian Ironman, reached into hidden reserves to pull off a remarkable victory. While Stewart had completed the course in 1:52.17, Hepple overcame the wobbles towards the end to finish in 2 hours and 7 minutes, just ahead of Michaela Jones.
I kind of resigned myself to second place by the time we were sort of about 2 kilometres to go. But I thought, no, that's not the way to think. So I just sort of like put in a bit of extra. And at the end, when I passed Michaela, I just thought, well, don't look back, just sprint.
I started off as a triathlete when I was probably in my early 20s, so I was a little late to the game. I had done sport before, but I really got interested in triathlons when they started up, and that was back in the early 80s. But then I fell in love with the cycle component of it, so I took up road cycling, and I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to race. I was still an amateur, but still I could race internationally, and there was a massive opportunity to race the Women's Tour de France, which was held for the first time in conjunction with the men's tour for about 10 years back in the 1990s. So I got to race that 3 times, and it was in the forum where we would race on the same course as the men, but we would just race the road race before them, so we got the same crowds and support, and that's really incredible. Then by 1988 I was made the Olympic Games, so I went to the Seoul Olympics back in 1988, which is that is such a different level when you're recognised for representing your country at the pinnacle event that you possibly can, so that was amazing. Then I went back to triathlons for a few years, and I did that kind of semi-professionally for about 3 years. I raced a lot of Australian triathlons. I turned professional. I went over to the US for a year. Didn't go particularly well for a number of reasons, but came to the point when I decided it was time to settle down a bit and start a family. So yeah, and that's been amazing too, so can't complain. Well, I've got to say I'm quite I'm very sad about leaving this place, because I've been here so long, and I do love it, and I do love seeing athletes progress as athletes and also in their life. I really want to explore the world on my bike, and I won't get around the whole world, but I'll get around as much as I can and I can afford. And so that's I won't be spending my whole life doing that, but I really want to see some other countries, and riding a bike around the mountains and the valleys and different countries is such a fantastic way to really be part of another country, and just really to experience firsthand and just up in the mountains, breathing the air, looking at the views and everything. It's so special, and it's quite different to seeing things any other way. Plus you always get to meet people from the country in little villages and that sort of stuff, and usually I'm sharing it with other people, like-minded people. So I probably don't have too many more years that I'll be able to do that, so I'm going to do it pretty much straight away.